guys, so today I'm going to be doing my everyday makeup look, but this is more of like a full coverage, full makeup type of look, even though it's really quite minimal products. You guys know I don't wear super large amounts of makeup, so this is more of my like everyday. So like if I have a longer day at school, this is the look I will wear. If I'm going out someplace nicer where I want to look a little more put together than just like a neutral look, this is what I'll go for, even though it is still pretty neutral, I know. But yeah, I'm going to go through and show you everything I do from start to finish, from, you know, face to eyes and lips and all that stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's using very minimal products. Most of it is drugstore, because I know you guys like that. And if it's not all drugstore, there are always ways that you can substitute in and out. So these are just like my go-to favorite products, and I basically wear this look every Tuesday and Thursday. So if you guys watch my outfits of the week video, you will have seen this look, and now I can link it so you guys can see when you look at that video the makeup looks. So this is basically what I wear every Tuesdays and Thursdays when I have school or when I go out with my friends or anything like that. So if you want to see how I get this look, then just keep watching. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is apply my Garnier Anti-Dark Circle Rollerball, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply this right underneath my eyes. I use this every day. I absolutely love this thing. Looks kind of crazy on my skin right now. Also, I'm like gonna let you know now that I did go on spring break this weekend, last weekend. So my skin is a little bit tanner than it normally is day to day. So if my foundation is a little bit too light, that's why. But I haven't gotten a chance to get a summer color yet because it's not quite summer. And I can always just use a little bit of bronzer or whatever. But for the point of this video, I'm just going to use this. So the foundation that I'm going to be using is the Revlon ColorStay in the color 300 Golden Beige. Like I said, I should probably go up one more shade, but we'll see how this goes. I'm just going to use the littlest amount on my finger, like about that much, not too much at all. And I'm going to go ahead and just put this where I want it, all over my face. I just kind of use a really sheer layer, and then bring the rest down my neck. Then I'm going to take my dampened Beauty Blender sponge again and kind of blend that in. So this is a really full coverage foundation, but because I use such a sheer layer, it's not really thick and cakey. It can look thick and cakey, like I'm not going to tell you that it doesn't. Because it can, but if you use with a damp Beauty Blender sponge and you use just the tiniest little amount, so once that's blended all in, I typically will take just a little bit on the end of my Beauty Blender sponge and kind of dab that wherever I'm having need some extra coverage, because this is a buildable foundation, so you can kind of use it to build up like a concealer. Alright, and then I'm going to go in with my concealer, and this is the Laura Mercier Undercover Pot in the color number 3, and I'm going to go in with the creamier side of the concealer, which has kind of got a little bit of a salmon undertone, and I'm just going to dab that right there on my eyes, because I was on spring break, I have not had much sleep, so I have a little bit of bags under my eyes, and then I'm just going to go ahead and blend that right away with my Beauty Blender sponge. Okay, so once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and set my foundation with the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder in the color 005 Silky Beige, and I'm going to go ahead in with my e.l.f. Kabuki brush and just kind of use a little bit of this because my skin's really not that oily right now. Typically I have really oily skin, but this foundation really helps me not have to use very much powder because it's already kind of got a matte finish to it. So this foundation is perfect for oily skin, and this powder is amazing for oily skin too, and I use very, very little. Then I'm going to go ahead and fill in my eyebrows. I'm going to be using the Milani Browfix Brow Kit in the color Light, I believe. Yeah, Light. I'm going in with my Anastasia Angled Brow Brush in with the lightest color mixed with just a tad bit of the dark, and I'm going to go ahead and fill in my brows. I'm using the, this is the e.l.f. Contouring Blush and Bronzer powder, and I'm using my Eco Tools Bronzing Kabuki brush, and I'm going in with the bronzer very lightly and just kind of contouring. I don't do any crazy contouring, just lightly to kind of bring some color to my face as well as just kind of define it a little bit more. I'm also going to bring it up into my temples and along my hairline. Okay, then moving on to blush, I'm going to be using Benefit's Box Powder in the color Coralista with my e.l.f. complexion brush. It's just a really flat paddle brush. It's really nice for applying blush. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that and just kind of smile to find the apples of my cheeks. And this is kind of a sheer blush, so I feel like you do have to build it up a little bit, but I also love my blush, so maybe I put a little too much on, but I love blush. I can't help it. And I love the way this smells. It just makes me in such a happy mood. I don't know why. It just smells so good. So I go ahead and pat that on the apples of my cheeks and then bring it back towards my hairline. And then I'm going to go ahead and go in with my highlighter, and highlighting is one of my favorite parts of my makeup routine, and it's the Hard Candy So Baked Bronzer in the color Tiki with my e.l.f. blush brush. And I'm just going to go ahead and swirl that in there, bring it down the bridge of my nose, up on my cheekbones, Cupid's bow, and right above my eyebrows. Now once I'm done with all of my face makeup, this is when I actually set my face makeup. So I'm going to be using the MAC Fix Plus, and I think that this just helps really blend in the powder and all the product that I have on my face and just kind of makes it look seamless, not powdery, not cakey, anything like that. So I love this stuff. I'm running out, so I'm going to have to pick up a new one. But basically I just take this a little bit further from my face and just spray. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the Urban Decay Primer Potion on my lid and then blend out. Even though I'm not going to have too much eyeshadow, I still feel like I have really oily lids and my liner will crease, my liquid liner that I use up top will crease if I do not apply the Urban Decay Primer Potion. So this is necessary for me, and this is again a makeup look that I wear like on longer days, so I like to make sure this is not going anywhere. And then I go back in with my highlighter, my So Baked Bronzer in Tiki, and I use this as an all-over eyeshadow. So I take the Soho brush right here, and I believe this is like their, I don't know what kind of blush it is, but I will link it down below. And I just kind of pat that into the thing, and then I swipe it all over the lid, as well as all the way up to my brow bone. This is just kind of like an all-over color. And sometimes I actually just use the brush that I contour with, that I highlight with. But basically I just want to apply that color, just a light wash, all over my lid and up to the brow bone. And then I go in with my bronzer again, and this is again from the Contouring Blush and Bronzing Palette from e.l.f. And I take this Soho crease blush, this blending crease brush, and I just kind of run that gently through my crease. So this is just going to actually like highlight and contour my eyes naturally. So I just kind of take and focus it more on the outer half of my eye like this, and then just kind of windshield wiper motion it back and forth to kind of define my crease just a little bit. Not too heavy, because again I want this to look really natural, but just kind of give my eyes a little more shape. So you can build it as much as you'd like, depending on how defined you want your eye. And then I just go ahead and do this again. So this is really simple. It uses really minimal products. Of course you could use a shimmery champagne lid color and then a matte brown if you'd like to for your crease, but I just use my highlighter and bronzer because I feel like it's just so easy. So just building this up to the intensity that I like and blending it out. Alright, so that's all I do for eyeshadow. And then I go in with my liquid liner, and I'm using the Physician Formula Eye Boosters Eye Pen, and this is about to throw it on the floor. This is about to run out, so we'll see if it lasts for this video and doesn't look too nasty. But this is my favorite eyeliner, so I really like it. It's super easy. It's one of those pen tip applicators. I'm going to go ahead and go in and apply some coats of my Falsies Flared Mascara. I love this stuff so much, so I'm just going to generously coat my lashes, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that is the finished makeup look. It's just my go-to everyday kind of makeup when I want more of a fuller face that's going to last me all day. So I'll zoom in so you can see it. And some days I like to top it all off with a gloss, so today I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Glossy Gloss in the color Dragon Fruit. It's just a really nice pinky neutral gloss. They smell so good and they're not sticky or anything like that, so I love these glosses so much. So that is the finished look. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!